Welcome, everyone, to the Apoco-Larry podcast. I'm Steve, and he is...
Pastor Larry.
Oh, yes, I've come around side for a little fireside chat.
That's right. That's right. And you know, for an educator, I probably do have a pastor's heart. Maybe not for a pastor.
That's a great qualifier. I like that. For an educator. For someone who barely likes people.
Yes.
I do have the most pastoral heart here.
Yeah. Yeah, even though every time they come in the office, I'm like, what are you doing in here? It's summertime. Go do summertime things.
Yes. Remember that old story of somebody at work told me I have an "I'm done with you" look. So I came home and asked Tracy, do I have an "I'm done with you" look? She goes, of course you have an "I'm done with you" look. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, speaking of people that we're about to be done with, we'll close off with Absalom here in this chapter, my friend, right?
This is the end of Absalom. Yeah. It's I'm kind of sorry. I keep liking people in Scripture that get killed.
Well, I guess
I kind of like Saul. Remember?
Yeah,
I kind of like Saul.
Yeah.
Even though in the end he was a bit nuts.
Yeah.
But he reminds me of one of my older brothers. So.
Yeah. And talk about a guy with a temper. Saul.
Yes, which reminds me of one of my older brothers.
Saul, put the spear down, for crying out loud, man.
I know. Well, you might as well hold on to it because remember he couldn't hit anything with it.
That's right. Okay. Well, without further ado, then let's jump into chapter 18 of 2 Samuel.
Yeah, and we just finished. Remember the last little bit was David having all that food brought to him to get him ready for this battle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Verse 1, chapter 18. David mustered the men who were with him and appointed over them commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds. David sent out his troops, a third under the command of Joab, a third under Joab's brother Abishai, son of Zeruiah, a third under Ittai. I'm trying it. The Gittite. The king told his troops, I myself will surely march out with you.
Yeah. Now, the amount of time between the last bit of the last chapter and this, it sounds like just hours. But for him to muster this many people and to set all of this up, it could be quite a long period of time. Like it could have been weeks.
Right.
Could have been months. But it reads like it all happened, within a single battle or two.
Yeah. Okay. But the men said, you must not go out. If we are forced to flee, they will not care about us. Even if half of us die, they will not care. You are worth 10,000 of us. It would be better for you to go and give us support from the city. The king answered, I will do whatever seems best to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the king...
Which is pretty good, because David's not the kind to shirk the battle.
Yeah.
So... like if it was me, I'd say, "Oh yeah, I will go back."
Yeah,
and support you from far back there. Yeah.
Well done, guys. Well done. Bravo. So the king stood beside the gate while all his men marched out in units of hundreds and thousands, and hundreds and of thousands.
Yeah.
The king commanded Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, "Be gentle with the young man Absalom for my sake." And all the troops heard the king giving orders concerning Absalom to each of the commanders. Verse 6, David's army marched out of the city to fight Israel, and the battle took place in the forest of Ephraim. There, Israel's troops were routed by David's men, and the casualty...
there's a little difference in Israel then and now. Like they're always talking about, the cedars of Lebanon, the forests of Ephraim. It just feels like there are a lot more trees around in David's time than there seem to be now.
Yeah, like you couldn't imagine a forest in Israel right now.
No, you don't think of it that way. As a matter of fact, any pictures, you don't see it.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, verse 7. There, Israel's troops were routed by David's men, and the casualties that day were great, 20,000 men. The battle spread out over the whole countryside, and the forest swallowed up more men that day than the sword. So it's like Fangorn Forest, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Now Absalom happened to meet David's men. He was riding his mule, and as the mule went under the thick branches of a large oak, Absalom's hair got caught in the tree, and he was left hanging in midair, while the mule he was riding on kept going. So it's a little bit of a circus trick here at best.
Everyone's heard this story, right? His hair gets caught in the tree. Is it talk about his hair right in here? And I don't know about this Absalom guy. I don't know what color his hair was, but I always picture him like Fabio.
Yeah,
me
too. Me too.
Yeah, I don't know if our audience remembers Fabio, but he had the long blonde locks.
Yeah,
and I just picture Absalom like that. Very tough warrior, kind of a handsome man with long blonde hair that gets caught in a tree for some stupid reason.
Yes, because God wants to humiliate him in the worst way possible. It sounds like.
Yeah, a terrible way. Yeah.
So anyway, okay, verse 10. When one of the men saw what had happened, he told Joab, I just saw Absalom hanging in an oak tree. Joab said to the man who had told him this, what? You saw him? Why didn't you strike him to the ground right there? Then I would have had to give you 10 shekels of silver and a warrior's belt. But the man replied, even if 1,000 shekels were weighed out into my hands, I would not lay a hand on the king's son. In our hearing, the king commanded you, Abishai, and Ittai, protect the young man Absalom for my sake. And if I had put my life in jeopardy, and nothing is hidden from the king, you would have kept your distance from me. Like you would have sold me down the river, you moron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not giving me any money for this.
Joab, verse 14, Joab said, I am not going to wait like this for you. So he took 3 javelins in his hand and plunged them into Absalom's heart while Absalom was still alive in the oak tree. And then
how long did he hang in the oak tree? Well, the guy rode back, had a conversation with Joab.
Yeah.
Joab gathers spears and then rides back,
Yeah. Don't mind me, just hanging around here. Like, did he not have like a little side dagger that he could kind of go?
Yeah.
Weird.
And was it a previous chapter that talked about his hair? About how long it grew and that he would cut it once every few years. And
yes, I seemingly remember
pounds
that.
Of hair that he would have.
Yeah. Okay, so Joab, so he took 3 javelins, stabbed him in the heart, and then 10 of Joab's armor bearers surrounded Absalom and struck him and killed him. Like if the javelins weren't enough, they wanted to make sure the job was done.
They beat him to death. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Joab sounded the trumpet, and the troops stopped pursuing Israel, for Joab had halted them. They took Absalom, and they threw him into a large pit in the forest and piled up a large heap of rocks over him. Meanwhile, all the Israelites fled to their homes.
Yeah. Most of the guys are smart enough to be scared.
Right.
Yeah.
18. During his lifetime, Absalom had taken a pillar and erected it in the king's valley as a monument to himself. For he thought, I have no son to carry on the memory of my name. He named the pillar after himself, and it is called Absalom's monument to this day.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 19. Now Amaz, son of Zadok, said, let me run and take the news to the king, so that the Lord has vindicated him by delivering him from the hand of his enemies. You are not the one to take the news today, Joab told him. You may take the news another time, but you must not do so today, because the king's son is dead. Then Joab said to a Cushite, go and tell the king what you have seen. The Cushite bowed down before Joab and ran off. Amaz, son of Zadok, said again to Joab, come what may, but please let me run behind the Cushite. But Joab replied, my son, why do you want to go? You do not have any news that will bring you a reward. He said, come what may, I want to run.
He's a runner, that guy.
He just loves the process.
Yeah. One of the early Kenyans.
That's right. So Joab said, run. And then Amaz ran by the way of the plain and outran the Cushite. While David was sitting between the inner and outer gates, the watchman went up on the roof of the gateway by the wall. As he looked out, he saw a man running alone. The watchman called out to the king and reported it. The king said, if he is alone, he must have good news. And the runner came closer and closer. And then the watchman saw another runner, and he called down to the gatekeeper, "Look, another man is running alone." The king said, "He must be bringing good news too." The watchman said, "It seems to me the first one runs like Amas, son of Zadok. He is a
Yeah,
good man."
funny that you could they knew each other well enough that they could recognize their gait when they were running. Eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
Can
good
you
man.
recognize people when they're running? Like you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
runner.
Yeah, you totally can. You totally
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. He's a good man, the king said. He comes with good news. Then Amas called out to the king, "All is well." And he bowed down before the king with his face to the ground and said, "Praise be to the Lord your God. He has delivered up those who have lifted up their hands against the Lord or against my lord, the king." The king answered, "Is the young man Absalom safe?" Amaz, Amahaz, or Amaz, answered, "I saw great confusion just as Joab was about to send the king's servant and me, your servant, but I don't know what it was." Oh, Trixie.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get a little nervous now that you realize, oh, he wants to make sure he's safe.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
why everybody else seemed to know and this kid didn't.
yeah. Yeah. Verse 30. The king said, "Stand aside and wait here." So he stepped aside and stood there. Then the Cushite arrived and said, "My lord the king, hear the good news. The Lord has vindicated to you today by delivering you from the hand of all those who rose up against you." The king asked the Cushite, "Is the young man Absalom safe?" The Cushite replied, "May the enemies of my lord the king and all who rise up to harm you be like that young man." The king was shaken. He went up to the room over the gateway and wept. And as he wept, he said, "Oh, my son Absalom, my son Absalom, if only I had died instead of you. Oh,
Yeah.
Absalom, my son, my son."
Yeah. So David is devastated, you know, and Joab must have liked the other kid more than the Cushite, but David didn't harm the Cushite for this. He just went up and fell apart.
Yeah,
Right. And now we're not going to get to it right away, but Joab's going to come to him and say, "Hey, you got to back off on this. I mean, these guys risked their lives for you, and now you're crying over your enemy's death. That's ridiculous."
yeah,
Yeah. And then way later in this, you're going to find out that David never kills Joab, but he asks his son Solomon to do it quickly.
yeah,
There's some really weird stuff that's going to happen beyond this, but David's just he's. I mean, well, this is his kid, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And even though I don't think he was ever a good father, like scripture never suggests that he was a good father, he probably had very little to do with his kids,
yeah,
as most kings did.
right.
And but he still loved this one.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know, I can't remember now which of his wives that he's the son of, but we could go back and check that some
Yeah,
other time.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he is now dead. And and they made a few wigs out of his hair, and a few bald Israelite women or men are happily
Yeah,
having wearing wigs.
yeah,
But it is sad. It is sad for David that he loved these people so much, but he had so little control over some things in his life.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
still a good king.
Still a good king. Still, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's just, and this is kind of the final act to secure the kingdom, right? Like the kingdom is never threatened again in David's lifetime.
I don't think so. I don't think no, not like this anyway. Not in because later on he's an old man and he's still the king. You know, and when did he die? I think he was 70 when he died. Because didn't he become king at about 30 and he reigned for 40 years?
Hmm.
Well, and he was in for although some of the guys in the early New Testament times and even in the Old Testament times seem to live into their 80s.
Hmm.
Like they were definitely, they didn't die in their 30s and 40s like they did in Europe.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
later on in the
Yep.
in the Middle Ages.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate your insight into this text and just how we're seeing like David loves this kid, but also God took action against Absalom too for trying to take the kingdom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there seems to be something about when God has someone in place, don't be the one that removes him without God's hand.
yeah,
Like David never removed Saul.
Yeah.
And you can't remove David either.
That's right.
We're going to get into the time of the kings where people are dropping like flies all over the place.
But they deserved it.
Every time they deserved it.
Every time they deserved it. Yep. Yep.
But then every time you think, you look into your own life, you think, yeah, I deserve it too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So anyway, that was David.
Well, thanks again, my friend. Fantastic. Folks, this starts our little summer break. We take a little summer hiatus because vacations occur and things like that. So we're kind of in a couple week hiatus, and we'll come back after a little rest, and we'll pick it up in chapter 19 and go from there. As always, we're so thankful that you listen. It's so encouraging to us. It was just tickled pink that you listen. And hey, tell your friends. Tell anybody you know. Tell even pets. Tell your pets. Until next time, I was Steve. He was Larry, and this was the Apoco-Larry podcast.